arrogant, throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting the fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Trying to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defiant, can I describe it? Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. Hit every bar, even though my bar's been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest. But I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeves. Even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeves. Even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve. I can show you where
the type of guy that would ride with the breeze. I'm higher than most people. I'm cold and icicle freeze. I'm liking to Mike Tyson. I'm a bison, a beast. I'm hot like Jamaica, like right by the beach. My pops is from a spot where they're fighting for peace. 8 years old, out there watching people fight in the streets. All these sirens only make the violence increase. Yeah, we're still not loving police. It's that bright young American, nice, dumb, arrogant. Tight on a mic, but he might need a therapist. Heart full of kerosene, head full of fairy tales. Said that you're my homie, you don't know me, but I know you very well. Roll back on some West Coast shit. This whole track is wetter than your dress code kiss. About to hit the track, running on some retro fit. I guess I'll lit, I guess I'll bitch, now let's go.
Show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve. Even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody.
Good evening, Sports Nonsense and Whiskey fans. It's your boys back in the house. Robert, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey man, I am doing well. It was a great weekend. Little long there at the end, but it was enjoyable. The Lions won. It was great. The Spartans won. As well this weekend, so playing good basketball. So
nobody cares about the Spartans, bro.
Hey, I know I'm the only one that probably does, but I'm gonna take it for what it is worth.
Enjoy it. Jayhawks lost a game this weekend that they shouldn't have lost, so take it when you can get it.
Exactly.
No. So. Well, I'm glad you're joining me tonight since Caleb is under the weather. Hopefully you feel better, brother. We'd love to, we'll keep chopping it up with you through the chat, and hopefully you get feeling better. Being sick
Caleb,
sucks.
Take care, man. It is not fun.
And I've been fighting a cough all week. It's awful. It's awful.
Stay away.
Oh. I was going to start the show. Finally, UFC happened over the weekend. I did not get to watch it. I was up in Breckenridge having a romantic weekend with the wife. Although we still watched a lot of sports because she's a lovely lady. But they didn't have the UFC fights on, so I didn't watch those. But I did want to mention Raquel Pennington won the championship, and I believe it's the bantamweight championship. I don't know what that means when it comes to female fighters, but their weight classes are so small, the ranges, that I don't know them all. But she won, and I thought it was worth mentioning, and a clap for her winning the championship because she fights out of Colorado Springs. So she is a Colorado Springs fighter, and she won UFC championship. So yay, Colorado Springs. Way to put it down.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully Colorado. We have a pretty good, we have quite a few Colorado fighters in the UFC. So hopefully that just continues because I think, I like seeing fighters from Colorado do well. So cheers to you, Raquel.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you defend it a couple times.
Which, if we're going to stick on that topic, hometown, quote unquote, news, Todd Helton got into the Hall of Fame. So
he did.
As a lifelong Rockies fan, that is very exciting. That was my first Major League Baseball game growing up, was the Rockies game. So Larry Walker, Mike Lansing, Todd Helton, all those guys.
Yeah, I go a little further back. Andres Galarraga, Bichette.
Oh, I agree. Dante Bichette's a great
know.
player. I mean, hey, I grew up playing Ken Griffey Jr. on the N64. I still have it.
Bro,
So
don't get started. Don't get started on that. Our boy Zach might listen.
Hey,
he doesn't listen often, but if he does, like he'll be like, "I will beat you in that game right now."
Yo, I've got it. I'm ready to hook it up and play, bro. So anytime. I got Madden on that too. Actually, I'm pretty sure. So, just some classics for you.
Hey, Ken Griffey Jr. baseball was great. Todd Helton definitely deserves it. I thought he deserved it over Scott Rowland from last year.
Yes.
Yeah, Scott Rowland was a fine player. Is he a Hall of Fame player? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure Joe Mauer, in my opinion, is a Hall of Fame player when it comes to baseball. I'm going to have to talk to a couple more of my baseball guys to really get their thoughts on it. I don't know baseball well enough, but like I feel like I have at least a decent understanding of a lot of the like stars who did it for a long time and have that like great moment, those moments of greatness. I don't know if Joe Mauer had them. Like, I think Joe Mauer is a catcher. I think.
If I'm not mistaken. Give me just a quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the Google search tonight.
Fact check that.
In that case,
he was the catcher.
He's a catcher. Buster Posey is more of a Hall of Famer than Joe Mauer, in my opinion. Like, I think that one's pretty easy. But yeah, seeing Todd get in, I still remember, Todd. I don't know if you know this, but Todd Helton was the quarterback at Tennessee that ended up giving way to Peyton Manning.
Yes, no, I did know this, actually.
They are actually pretty good friends to this day. They're kind of connected through that Tennessee relationship. So,
yep.
He and Todd Helton he's a Colorado boy, right? Absolutely. He's one of the athletes, and I think we talked about this, a couple months ago. We talked about certain athletes, Carmelo Anthony, like who's a Colorado like athlete, and I wouldn't really like put Carmelo in there. Caleb might, I wouldn't, but Todd Helton is one of those guys. It's like if you're kind of picking one of the major guys from each of the sports, I think Todd Helton would be probably the baseball guy for Colorado.
Absolutely.
No one would have got there, but since they traded him and did him dirty, but Todd's the baseball guy. He'd be on the Mount Rushmore of Colorado athletes in the baseball position.
I would have to agree with that. Probably him. Troy Tulowitzki would be another one, I would say.
Too injured, and we got rid of him. That's kind of like they had a good career here, but Troy didn't go anywhere else and do anything else. So that's kind of a bummer for Troy. But I know what I mean. Him and Carlos Gonzalez and that whole squad, like they definitely give us good memories. But they didn't do enough in a Rockies uniform where Todd Helton definitely did.
Completely.
What else? Basketball. I think I just have to mention, I don't know if you're aware, Robert, that yesterday was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant going for 81 points.
I was not aware of that. So,
and just so happens, Joel Embiid did his best Kobe impression and went for 70 last night.
Very cool.
Which, and he had 21 free throws that he made. I think it was 21 of 23, which is pretty damn good. I tell you, I watched Embiid. Obviously, he played the Nuggets this Friday. He played the Nuggets Wednesday or Thursday night last week, and I got to watch that game. And I just, every time I watch him, and I watched him in Kansas because he was a Jayhawk for 1 year. His mid-range game, like it's just you can't guard it. If he gets anywhere within 15 feet of the hoop and just turns and he's deadly, it's just crazy.
I'm doing my NBA homework.
So Embiid definitely had his MVP odds raise this morning based on that performance. Well deserved. He's a hell of a player. He is a hell of a player. I know a lot of people get caught up in the Joker versus Embiid. At some point, you just got to sit back and just enjoy what you're seeing. Like he's a
great basketball.
He's a damn good basketball player. He really is. It's going to be a shame if he doesn't get a ring with the 76ers. I don't know if they're going to have the team around him to do it, but he is fantastic. Congrats, Embiid. And then another guy, Karl Anthony Towns, scored 62 yesterday.
Oh, man.
This guy. Yes, Cam, you are correct. I didn't get to comment because I was driving. But yes, I had no idea. Last I had heard, Cam Ward had declared for the NFL draft, so I stopped worrying about Cam Ward coming to Miami. So now that you told me he's coming to Miami, yay! Miami has something. Who knows? He should be better than Tyler Van Dyke. So let's go you.
Appreciate it, Cam.
Cam just likes to bust my balls. That guy.
Hey, it's his job, It's one of the
Yeah,
things
what's funny though is he's doing it online versus just jumping on because he's got the login. He could jump in the show. I mean, I got to add him. I got to click the button and say add him, but he's a good guy. So yeah, Karl Anthony Towns hit 62. And then because I was kind of paying attention to Embiid because Embiid was, going off. Wemby ended up putting up over 30 last night as well against the Sixers.
Also, we got Caleb here in spirit, so gonna share some of Caleb's thoughts real quick. Jokic is rolling, and so is Embiid. What Embiid is doing scoring this season is epic and an all-time great. Jokic just continues to improve on his greatness. So, and then I'll share the Final Four predictions for when we get there. So, Caleb, I'll keep you in mind there, buddy.
All right. So let's go. Let me ask you, Robert. Was there anything else in the sports world outside of football that we want to talk about?
For me, I did not catch a lot of sports this weekend. I really watched just the games and a little bit of the Spartan basketball. So not much else got in my way. So I will say there's been a lot of nerd stuff, so there's some nonsense going on that we'll have to get you all caught up on at some point. So, but yeah, sports world, not so much for me.
Okay, well, if we got time at the end, you catch me up on some nerd stuff because I do like to be up to date.
Yes,
with my
there's been
nerd.
a plethora of things. So Caleb as well, you gotta get you caught up, bud. Some big things going on.
Hall of Famer for sure. I don't know who's Hyde 2406. I know that guy. I feel like I know that guy, but that might be. Is that Caleb? No, I don't know. If baseball guys say he's a Hall of Famer, then I'll go with it. I just he doesn't seem. First ballot seems a little high. Let's see. Well, let's talk a little football here. We've got a lot from the weekend. We did have some recent. We got a recent coaching hire. We got Brian Callahan of the Bengals getting hired by the Titans.
Yes, I did see that come across my screen yesterday. I thought that was interesting.
I'm a little confused, a little bit. Go from Mike Vrabel to Brian Callahan. Now, obviously, the Titans have not had a great team or roster. They've definitely failed at quarterback over the last 2-3 years. They bought in on Tannehill, and Tannehill kind of turned back into a pumpkin. But I just don't see how. Who knows? Maybe this will be Callahan's first job. maybe he's got that fresh perspective. But it's a pretty crappy roster right now. Like I feel like that was just
going for the Titans.
Oh, there's Cam.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll let Cam in. I thought about it, but yeah.
Man.
I thought he said, "Please join the stream." I thought that's what he was asking.
In so many words.
Yeah. Plus, I figured I wear the Christian McCaffrey jersey.
There you go. Now I like that.
There you go.
Is that one got keep pounding in the back?
I actually think it does.
Yeah, I've got a Luke Kuechly, and I've got the Color Rush one, and it's got keep pounding in the back. It's pretty awesome.
How you doing, Robert?
Doing good, Cam. How about you? It's been a while.
Yeah, doing good. I'm on my 5th time binging Ahsoka, so I'm doing well.
5th time?
Which,
dude,
yeah.
It was enjoyable. I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Listen, when you're only given so much, this it's what you got to work with. Again, I lost my mind. That's what I was gonna say for the end. That the Bad Batch was season 3, final season coming in less than a month. Wasn't prepared for that. Watched that trailer like 4 times yesterday. So, Cam speaking to my heart here.
See, what I take offense is to Picky said, "Oh, like the total." It was enjoyable.
It was all nonchalant. some of the best Star Wars storytelling we've had in a while.
It was good. I liked it, and I like Rosario Dawson. Like I've got a crush on her. I don't know why.
She's really good Ahsoka.
She's always been hot since Men in Black for me. So
Men in Black, Clerks 2.
That one, yeah.
Clerks 2.
Yeah, so I've been kind of like on a Star Wars binge of late, and actually, Sayer, my buddy Sayer, got me hooked on this. What is it? This series, this one season. It was called Into Light and Magic on Disney Plus.
Ooh.
It's basically talks about like the ILM, which is the production team, if you will, for Disney. And I had no idea that George Lucas basically started it all. I thought it was just like, oh, he's just great Star Wars, Lucasfilm genius, but I had no idea that the ILM did, not just Star Wars, but like Jurassic Park and, Terminator, and like helped the advancement of like stuff like that. So like, It was cool to see, that kind of stuff. So that was a really, really cool series, but I'm just like on a George Lucas binge right now. So hence I'm on my 5th time and probably soon to be 6th time watching Ahsoka.
There's a lot to unpack. So Cam, I get it. I hear where you're coming
from. I would literally watch episode 5 of Ahsoka on repeat.
Understandably so.
So what we talking about, fellas?
I almost got to go back and rewatch it just to see like what you're saying is so great about episode 5.
It's okay. It takes someone as low life as you for some of the Star Wars stuff to kind of pick on what we're saying.
Man, I wasn't even gonna go there. Wasn't even going to touch that, but Cam went there.
Cam goes there. He's not scared. He's not scared.
I am definitely not scared.
Hey, I mean, I know my passions run a lot deeper than most people, so I got to take it at face value.
But that's when you know, like you're like the ultimate nerd, because you could take things no matter what.
Yep.
Or you just want to get them riled up. You just talk about something, refreshing.
Or depending on like how nerdy they are, you say something in the slightest to piss them off. Mm-hmm. Like and so like. Another buddy of mine, Anthony Rodriguez, is like a huge Star Wars fan, and I just would like mess with him every once in a while. And so, when the Ahsoka series came out, I was like, "Oh, I thought you were a Trekkie fan."
Oh, man.
Those are fighting words, bro.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, jeez. Which, I mean, Star Trek's got some good stuff going on itself right now, but Star Wars is by far superior.
It clears. Yeah, it clears.
Yeah, definitely.
So we talking about today, fellas?
Well, we were just talking about the Tennessee Titans hiring Brian Callahan.
Son of Bill Callahan, the one who single-handedly tortured the Nebraska Cornhuskers franchise for a period. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't sad about that. Most of us, anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, he did such a bad job, though. He did such a bad job.
He did.
Yeah. So, it might work out. I mean, he seems to know offense fairly well. I don't know if he was calling plays. I thought Zach Taylor was calling plays. So, kind of curious on how that makes them better over Mike Rabel. Unless Ray Carthon, I think, is the GM. Maybe he's going to be more in line with Ray Carthon. I believe that's what caused Mike Rabel to get axed, is they did not have a good relationship. So
it's just odd in general because the Tennessee Titans have operated weirdly, right? Because it's the whole Vrabel situation anyway. I mean, like with how they operated from possibly trading him to, we're just gonna let you go, kind of like the way that they handled it. It was just like it just felt very toxic, and the writing felt like maybe it was even on the wall, even with Vrabel when they traded AJ Brown to Philly to only replace him with Treylon Burks, he was a great prospect coming out, but it's like you expect to the moment you trade for something like that and you draft a guy like that, you're putting unrealistic expectations on that kid.
Well, you're taking a true commodity and replacing them with a maybe, right?
Exactly.
And you get burned by doing that sometimes.
But I'm curious. I mean, like Callahan, it seems like he's a rather bright mind. I mean, granted, Peyton Manning doesn't necessarily have the best track record in terms of, giving complimentary, comments out, but I guess he did, give praise to Callahan in terms of possibly being a head coach. So you certainly can't go wrong there. But I mean, I think that was just one that it just came out of left field because like no one really saw Brian Callahan.
It just seemed like they moved too fast.
Yeah.
I think they didn't want to be left. Maybe they're the only ones really in on Callahan, unless they felt somebody else was going to get in on that. But I feel like everybody else has got their own guy that they've kind of.
Which was funny though, because like there was a report that came out that was like, oh, everybody was like zeroing in on Callahan as like their top target, so they wanted to pounce on it. Well, I'll tell you what, like some of the worst decisions you could possibly ever make as a franchise is a snap decision like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment you make those snap decisions like that, is when you find yourself in a decade or 2 decades of a hole.
I'm just curious on like what the plan is. I mean, they're not. I think they're 9th. They're between 7 and 9 in the draft, I believe, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta's 8, but I think they're right around there. And they've, DeAndre Hopkins probably doesn't make sense to keep him. Derrick Henry's probably gone.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense has a couple guys, but nobody that's like, a complete playmaker. I don't.
Who's their quarterback even right now?
Who knows? Well, I think Will Levis. Will Levis. He played well, but their O-line is bad. It went from being really, really good, 5 years ago to not good at all now.
Well, I think that one thing you can expect too is like if Brian Callahan did get the job, I would expect his dad, Bill, to follow him. And actually, if Bill does go to Tennessee, then the offensive line would be an upgrade.
Bill's still coaching O-line, right?
Yeah, he is still coaching a line, and he's actually well regarded as like a really, really good offensive line coach. So if he does, go to where his son is, like I would have ventured to bet that the offensive line won't be that big of a problem. And frankly, I would even be surprised if they take, if he's available, that Penn State tackle. If he's available for Sean.
It'll be close, right?
Yeah. I
mean, we know quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3. So that's going to push some players down the board some.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Callahan got hired. It sounds like the Jim Harbaugh deal is imminent, not completed yet. So we're moving on from Star Wars, Caleb. We're moving on.
How delayed is he?
I don't know. I don't know.
We can make room for that nonsense if we need to.
We're just
Yes, Caleb, we'll talk some Star Wars and nonsense at the end just for you, buddy.
what can I say, Robert? We're just a bad batch of people.
Yes, that we are. That we are.
The guys I hang out with.
Hey man, it could be worse company.
That's right.
It could be a lot worse company. That is absolutely a fact. So let's see that the Harbaugh hire is imminent. I don't know
if it is or not.
You guys did I thought 5280 that comes on right before us did a great job talking about that. It just doesn't seem like a really good fit from Harbaugh's perspective, because you got an owner who's poor. Like they need to sell. They need to definitely sell. We don't really know. Like I think the fight is still ongoing. I think there's still legal litigation going on. Who's like majority owner of the team?
It's not the same stuff that the Bowlens were going through, but it's like there's definitely like family like legal things that are going on within that ownership too, and I just feels like a turn off. Now, granted, like it's not the same, but it's like you do want to give them credit where credit was due. It's like it's the Colorado situation. Like if they pull the trigger and they hire Deion Sanders, right, and they did, you got to commend them. Like the fact they went out, they spent the big bucks to bring in a guy like that, to your program. Well, if the Chargers do it and they have a really hefty offer that he can't refuse, you can't knock it. You can't, because the simple fact that they finally were like, oh, you know what, we really should get a coach like that. But, so it's just those things. Like I just can't see from the top perspective with how cheap they are. It's just like because from the player personnel side of things, it's like, it's really easy to see why he would go to the Chargers.
Right.
Like, for just 2 words, Justin Herbert. Right. I mean, but like, and also too, it's like as much as say the staff members, maybe he should keep some of them. We all know a new coach, for the most part, when he's coming in, he wants to bring in his own guys, and you cannot tell Jim Harbaugh no. You cannot bring you cannot bring members of your Michigan staff who recently just won the national championship to the Los Angeles Chargers. Like you literally can't tell that man no, right? But it's also like one of the reasons why I feel like I also feel like the Atlanta Falcons job though is interesting to me, because it's like I don't think you schedule a second interview. I don't think you schedule a second interview with a team if you're not in the least bit skeptical of that Chargers job.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I kind of almost feel like this would be done already.
That was speculation too. Is that this was actually going to be done, and it's not, which is also apropos to what we've seen from Harbaugh.
I mean, I would probably take the Falcons job myself. The only thing there, and again, I think you guys mentioned it, Rich McKay, who's kind of the, pseudo president there, who's made it 10, 15 years. Everybody else gets fired, but he still gets to keep his job. You kind of report to him. Right. Does Harbaugh want to do that? I think that's the holdup with Belichick. I don't think Belichick wants to do that.
Would Pete Carroll even?
Yeah. Right. Wasn't there a report from Snoop Dogg saying Pete Carroll really was done coaching?
No. Snoop Dogg?
I swear to God. I'm going to Google it. I swear to God.
Cam's like, no way.
I swear I saw something about that.
The same guy that would appear in a Pitch Perfect movie or narrate a Discovery Channel, like Snoop Dogg, or appear in Starsky and
Who
Hutch.
also said he was giving up smoke, and that was a total fallacy.
Snoop Dogg knows his stuff, okay?
He loves football. There's no denying that. But Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, what's
Snoop Dogg out here breaking, stories?
Okay, so here, hold on. It is true. According to Snoop Dogg, his good friend Pete Carroll wants to go to the Chargers and coach.
Is that from Pro Football Talk?
That's on if you Google it, it's on multiple Fox Sports. at Super Bowl Nation, Yahoo Sports, USA Today, Bleacher Report. It's on all of them, man.
I mean, it's at
I
least
saw it on Bleacher. That's where I originally saw it. I was like, I know I saw that somewhere.
but at least has merit in the sense of like the more the Harbaugh stuff lingers, it's like, and he's not taking the deal. It's like something's amiss here. Like, like either they've got some other candidates in mind, Harbaugh's not a fan of the offer that's on the table, or he has cold feet once again and he wants to stay at Michigan, which I mean, like, because he has the chance to do like one of the more like truly like put your timestamp on everything or name on everything now that Nick Saban is gone. Like he has a chance to truly like make himself
and
like the GOAT
Legend.
of college,
Yeah.
like the GOAT of college football if he stays there at Michigan.
He can be completely comfortable at Michigan.
Yeah.
He can, make his 10 million or more a year, be totally comfortable. And I think he's done a pretty good job even before he got to this level of winning the national championship. I still thought he brought Michigan back to relevance.
There was a point in time where people wanted to fire him.
Yeah. And I get it. Ohio State, Ohio State's going to be good. They're not going to be bad every year.
They frankly could or can beat Michigan next year, this upcoming year.
Ohio State could have beat Michigan this year if they had a real quarterback. I have no doubt that with a real quarterback, the 2 wide receivers they would have had would have destroyed Michigan. But they didn't have a great quarterback. And they still got close. It wasn't a blowout like it was the year before. So, Harbaugh kind of lingering around. Harbaugh in Dallas is where I wanted to see. I just, it will. I mean, Jerry's not going to do something like that, but it takes real balls to do that. Jerry doesn't have them. So,
and speaking of, balls in their court, I mean, who knows what the Buffalo Bills might do? Because the Buffalo Bills are, because the Bills are going to be in such a situation where like they see that, and obviously we touched on that tonight on 5280. But it's like
you guys did a great job tonight.
Because like they easily could do the smart thing where they let go of Sean McDermott, and it's nothing against Sean McDermott, but it's like you have Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, and Bill Belichick out there on the open market for you to be your head coach. Like, you could even go as far to say Mike Vrabel. Right. That is such a tempting proposition for you, and so I don't know. It's just. It's one where you would have to have that conversation.
Wouldn't that be such a big FU from Bill Belichick to go coach the Bills if that job became available? The Bills are already beating the Patriots every year anyways. But I think with Belichick, that would just continue. So Sean McDermott, I think he's a good coach.
Yeah,
I'm curious. I'm going to give him a little bit of grace. That defense has so many injuries on it this season. To be where they were, basically, I mean, we're talking 6-6, and they won 6 straight games to get the 2nd seed and get into the playoffs. I know what everybody's feeling though. This was their best year. Joe Burrow was hurt. You had KC's roster is not as good as it's been in the past.
And yet
they still have the best player in the NFL. That makes a difference. And they still have one of the best coaches in the NFL.
He's the best player in the NFL that acts like his brother. Yeah.
Well, we won't go there. I have started getting more annoyed by some of his antics on the field. But that's probably just because they keep winning. This was a good year for the Bills to try to win because of the Chargers imploded. Herbert got hurt. Who else got hurt? Burrow. Who else was hurt? There's somebody else that was hurt.
Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers getting hurt.
Caleb just commented, Bucks just hired Doc Rivers to replace Adrian Griffin.
Nice.
I mean,
so
that means Another playoff exit for the Bucks. Awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say when the Nuggets played the Bucks in the NBA Finals and the Bucks are up 3-1, we know who's winning the series.
Cam, that won't happen because they won't win that many games in Denver. So,
but I'm just saying, like it will happen.
I mean, the Nuggets would still beat the Bucks, but they wouldn't be down 3-1. We're not talking basketball now, Caleb. You missed that part. You're behind.
Technically, that was breaking news. Okay.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair, Cam.
I was about to say, this is a sports podcast. Anything goes if it's breaking news here, Pinky. Hold on.
Good Lord.
I mean, like the Bad
Brought
Batch
it on
trailer,
yourself.
the Bad Batch trailer could literally drop right now, and me and Robert will literally like.
I will pause the world.
Yeah.
I will exit both of you and mute you, and I'll do my own thing.
Like,
That's fine.
seriously.
Yeah.
And then you guys come back when you're ready. It's fine.
Are you kidding? We actually might watch that trailer on a loop.
It was epic. I was not prepared for some of the things that came, but hey, we'll save it, packaging that up and saving it because there's so much.
Where are we at? Sean McDermott probably is taking you as far as he can take you. I think he's
John Fox, right?
Maybe John Fox. He might be better than John Fox. Or Josh Allen's just really better than anything that
I mean,
anything John Fox has worked with. But I think it's tough. It's tough. They were the 2 seed, but now you've done it 5 years in a row where you haven't gotten to the Super Bowl.
Who's more
Josh
cursed?
Allen?
Who's more cursed? The Chargers or the Bills?
Bills.
Bills, because they've definitely gotten there.
They've had the taste
So
of glory.
Here's the thing. The Bills are the team that makes the playoffs that we get hyped up for. The Chargers are the team that's like predicted to be a Super Bowl dark horse and then never makes the playoffs. So, or they make the playoffs and blow a 27-point lead.
It's just funny how both teams are cursed.
Wife right is a thing, yeah.
Seriously.
Caleb's sick, so he can't type tonight. It's fine. And why did you change?
Or he's drunk, one of the two.
He's just trying out different things, it looks like.
Now he's on Facebook instead of YouTube.
No. He's pulling Canada from Pittsburgh. That's just his burner over there on YouTube.
What do you say, Robert? Should they fire McDermott?
I would say so. No, actually, I walk that back because you've got the program. I don't know what it is because I was actually looking at the stats because during the normal season, Bills are 3-1 against the Chiefs, and postseason, Mahomes has got Allen's number all day. So I don't know what that is.
Well, that's Andy Reid because they take it up a notch. When they get in the playoffs, they take it up a notch.
I won't disagree with that statement, but I don't know. I don't think it's a coaching problem. I think it's more of a play. Like the players need to finish the game.
And this is where Cam made the best point. In a normal year, you don't have Bill Belichick or another successful coach like Jim Harbaugh available.
True.
Those guys are available.
Yeah.
But the Patriots they've been relevant, but not overly relevant the last few seasons. It's not like there's been anything that's been worth showing.
That's why Bill doesn't have a job right now.
And
hold on, Billy. Mahomes does a lot to earn that hate, okay? I do respect him. He is a GOAT. He's already a Hall of Famer with his resume.
Nope.
He is. He really is.
Just kidding.
I'll stand on a lot of hills. I can't even argue that point. The guy's a Hall of Famer.
I'm just kidding. You can't ignore it.
To get up to the GOAT conversation, I think he's got to still get 3 to 4, which again he could get one more year this year, but he's going to get another one, whether it's this year or in a future year when they actually buy a couple wide receivers. He's going to get another one. You'd be crazy to say he's not, unless Andy Reid retires. Then that might change. But
which it wasn't a conversation.
But we're not talking about that game yet, Billy. Or we're not talking about the Chiefs yet. We're going to talk about how great they are in a moment. We're talking about the Bills. God, Caleb jumping in here. Damn it.
Essay. Holy essay.
Yeah, I'm like, what is
Yeah,
this?
man. Holy man.
You know, if I want to write that much, I'd just have him apply for Proudly Orange.
Right. Don't make me laugh too hard, Cam. All right. So Robert says fire McDermott. Cam, you'd fire McDermott.
So this is where actually, as much as we went through the whole discourse or the conversation on 5280, I don't know. Because, like, again, like, I think he's a good coach, but, like, I also, the only thing is like, to where it's almost like the Nick Sirianni conversation is that the one thing Nick Sirianni has is he went to the Super Bowl in very few years, right? And the Bills have yet to reach that, and McDermott has been there, you know, a little bit longer than, you know, a said Sirianni type coach. So I don't know. I think he stays, actually. Like, I actually think he stays. But if it was me, I would move on from him and I would hire Jim Harbaugh.
See, I'm going to throw a curveball. I do give him a little bit of grace because I know how injured that defense has been. But I'd probably fire him. And I would go grab Ben Johnson. Because Josh Allen looked out of this world with Brian DeBall. And as soon as Brian DeBall left, he has not really looked the same. I thought the last couple games, he's looked a lot better because I think he started to play within the offense more rather than just like, I got to make a play, so I got to check it downfield, which causes a lot of his turnovers. But Brian DeBall had him playing turnover-free. He had him playing. They were making tons of big plays. That offense was unstoppable that year.
Who's Brian DeBall?
He's coach of the Giants. He was the offensive coordinator.
Oh, you mean Brian Dable?
Dable, whatever. DeBall, whatever. It's spelled the same.
Oh man. Think you just blame it on the whiskey. Or wait, you're not even drinking whiskey. You're drinking a Monster, aren't you?
I've got Monster, Beast, and then I've got whiskey too.
Oh, okay.
I'm two-fisting, guys. I'm two-fisting. It was a long day. It was a long day. Nobody wants to hear about it, so
I did not need to know about this, but congratulations.
Yeah. But hey, I'm going to the Super Bowl soon, so it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, I'd fire him, hire Ben Johnson. I'd move on. All right. Robert, thoughts from the game?
The Bills just got to finish the game, man. Like, come on. Play the game. Like, they played, in my opinion, they played better. I personally think the Bills are the better team.
Yeah.
Personally. They outplayed. I just don't know what else to say. I just don't.
You know, I really just thought about this just now. It almost felt like a divisional round comparison to what the Super Bowl was last year against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because it was like you very easily could tell who was the better team, right? You could very easily tell who was the better team. And it was the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts was outperforming Patrick Mahomes in that game. Like, there's a lot of people felt like that he was outperforming Mahomes. But because of the coaching blunder, if you will, the Andy Reid and Sean McDermott stuff really just kind of tipped it over a little bit to where it was at the hands of the Chiefs. And so I kind of agree with that. I think that the Bills were the better team. I think it was also too the execution part of this, because and Pinky, I mean, you made the point about like that they need a wide receiver one, you know, and so like they have a wide receiver one in Diggs. No, he's a wide receiver
Well,
one.
he's a 1B maybe. I don't think he's like that.
I
Guy.
guarantee you on a fair amount of teams, he's a wide receiver one on a fair amount of teams.
Well, no, I mean he's their wide receiver one, and he might be a team who doesn't really have, but he's not. To me, I want a guy who I can throw it near him, and he's going to go get it. And I don't see that from Diggs. He runs really good routes, and he is open quite a bit.
Well, to the point though is like I was going to make is then Josh Allen needs a wide receiver one in the same yin and yang that Kirk Cousins is to Justin Jefferson. Like they are on the same page for everything. Like, and the way that he runs his routes, he knows exactly when he's breaking. Like he just knows exactly where he's going to be at all times, and he knows that he's going to be catching it no matter what. So like Josh Allen needs that kind of trust for a wide receiver at a wide receiver one. And especially too with the discourse and everything that's been unfolding with Diggs and Josh Allen, supposedly, it's just going to boil over,
I don't think Diggs is coming back.
I don't either, but it's just going to boil to the point where he's not going to be there next year. You're looking for a new wide receiver one, possibly even rebranding maybe the entire wide receiver room anyway. So it's just like they do need to look a little bit hard in the mirror and find this idea of like, we really do need a wide receiver one. So I'm with you in that sense. There's just a different way for me to look at it.
So I just like Diggs has always been really good, but to me, I want my elite quarterback to have an elite wide receiver.
Oh, I agree with that. I just think that like, just for Diggs, like he's a really solid wide receiver. That's a wide receiver one. And there's a reason why people do put him in the top 10 as far as, a wide receiver talent. Like there's a reason why that's true. It's just, he's just got to execute. And I think that's on Diggs. Like the passes that he was making, Josh Allen was making, like that ball that he threw deep in that Kansas City Chiefs game.
That was beautiful.
Like that would have been an all-time throw. Like down the sideline, the way that was, like, it was an all-time throw, but instead he decided to breadbasket the catch instead of using his hands. And like, that can't happen in those types of situations. You need to be on your A game. You need to be, 100% focused at all times. Like the execution has got to be perfect. And especially even if you were the better team, that's the other thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. One slip up, one error against a team like that, they're going to make you pay. Like the margin for error against a team that has been as good as the Kansas City Chiefs, like it's so small because the moment that they see that small sliver of an opening, the Chiefs are going to be taking it. Like,
and the Chiefs, like they play better in the playoffs when MVS like all of a sudden knows how to catch a football. Like he caught multiple passes in that game, and he like passes that he dropped all season, and yet he caught them this time, right? Yeah. I can't take credit for that. That's for my buddy Andy. But the Chiefs also have one of the best defenses in the league as well. Like, so Mahomes is playing with a really good defense behind him. You have to execute every time. You can't make mistakes. And I'm still blown away by that fake punt.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by that. And I loved I don't know if Cam, if you watch the Rich Eisen show, I do watch it regularly. And Rich Eisen said he hates that rule when you fumble it through the end zone and the other team gets the ball. But this is the one time he didn't hate it because it was the Chiefs' damn fault for giving it to McCole Hardman. I love that part. But,
I hate when people say that's such a stupid. Dude, don't fumble the football in the first place and don't have it result in a touchback. Like
I don't like that rule myself.
Say it again for the people in the back, Cam.
I don't like it myself because if you fumble it anywhere else and it goes out of bounds, you get to keep the ball. It's only at the goal line. Now, it's a rule. So again, they still played by the rules, and it was the right call. He did fumble it; it went out. But I've not liked that rule myself.
Well, you're just
but it is the rule. So
you're just a hater.
I'm not a hater. I don't know. It's just not. It's to me. It's weird that you can fumble it anywhere else and you get to keep the ball.
But that means that
you fumble it across that line.
But that means that you're going to have to reward something like that on the sidelines. And it's just like
setting a bad
I'm
precedent.
I'm confident after that that rule is going to change.
Yeah, apparently the league feels that way, and they're a bunch of babies.
Because they were considering it after last year. I bet that puts it over. I bet that puts it over this time. So.
Yeah, because it's the Chiefs for one, and they're the face of the NFL. They're going to whine about it. And, since it's been a whole league of this year for the Kansas City Chiefs whining about it, which, by the way, was so fitting that a pass like that the Bills executed against the Chiefs in that game, I thought was chef's kiss, by the way, that they actually executed it. But, no, they're going to whine about it, and it's going to get overturned because it was the Kansas City Chiefs.
They're the new Patriots, bro. And
they're not the only ones that have complained about that rule, though. I wouldn't have completely agree.
But they were the tip of the iceberg to get it overturned.
It takes that moment to push it over, and that'll happen. It took the Bills losing to the Chiefs years ago to fix the overtime rules that each team gets the ball now. You gotta have those moments to push it over. So I'm not gonna blame the Chiefs for that.
I blame Taylor Swift.
I like seeing Swiftie. I like her having fun.
That Jason Kelce had Jason Kelce.
Jason Kelce had it though, because that's how I look.
Dude, that was awesome. That was just his boy hyping up his boys, man. That was that. I felt that in my soul. That was if one of my bros scored 3 goals in a game in soccer or hockey or scored 40 points at a high school basketball, dude, that would literally be me. Maybe not necessarily chugging a beer at a high school game, but still that would be me hyping up my boys.
When I see Jason Kelce do that, it makes me really wish I had a brother.
I felt that.
That's what I felt. I was like, damn it, I wish I had a brother. Because I would love to have that relationship with my bro.
Which, by the way, I don't necessarily think that was for Taylor Swift, by the way, either. When Travis Kelce did that, I'm pretty sure that was for 100% Jason Kelce with the fact that everything that was going down. So anybody that was kind of going about that on social media, that's, I would say 100%. But I think what's funny is as much as we were talking about our disdain for the Chiefs, I actually don't mind the Kelces. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I actually don't.
Are awesome.
I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind them. But it's and I think a lot of it is just because of the podcast that they have. When you have a podcast,
is hilarious.
Yeah, when you have the podcast that they have and it's real and it's authentic, that's really what it matters for me. If you're authentic and you come across as just the average regular Joe and you're having fun, and that's what you certainly appear to be on the field too.
So
I'm 100% fine with
it. Right now, the Chiefs are a really good team. Really good team. They won. I will say, I really thought the Bills played not to lose rather than playing to win. You got 2 minutes left. You're I think it was 2nd and 8 because I think they ran on first down and they didn't get much. It was 2nd and 8. And their next 2 play calls were not good. It was if we don't get it, we'll kick the field goal. And I just felt no, man. I felt like another Josh Allen quarterback designed run was a perfect call in that moment. You're still taking, because you still want to take time off the clock. You don't want to get the Chiefs the ball with time left. So you still got to wield that 2 minutes down. And
the Bills
call those
lost
plays.
themselves the game. I'll keep saying it. They lost themselves the game. They were the better team going into it. Period.
Well, I think overall the teams are even. The Bills had the better offense. The Chiefs had the better defense, and their defense was pretty healthy. So,
right.
I still think the teams were even. And then I guess if you say coaching matters, then the Chiefs were still the better team because they had the better coach.
It still doesn't necessarily mean though on the way that the games went. Because the Bills were definitely the better team, 100%. Everything that they had going up against them, the hot streak that they were on since the Bronco game, They were playing unstoppable. So they had every right. Everybody had their right to predict the Bills, myself included, over the Chiefs. And the Chiefs had an up and down year. So it's just like, I don't know. It was just like everybody had their own rights as far as to predict the Bills. And it was very obvious, too, to what Robert was saying. Like, the Bills were the better team. I mean, the Bills were the better team. And, yeah, maybe Andy Reid did tip it a little bit, but, like, it still doesn't necessarily excuse people in the sense of, like, thinking like the fact that the Bills had the best chance to win and or that they were the better team. I think one of the things I thought was disappointing, even though he had 18 carries, was that they needed to feed James Cook more. Like, I think that's the other part of this is that, like, they really do need to feature him a little bit more. Like, he's a rather special back right now for that team and how they utilize him. And so even though he had, I'd say,
started getting cute with putting Ty Johnson and Murray in occasionally, and I'm with you.
Which I don't mind them as backs either, but it was just like,
you're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
ride your dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Ride your dude. All right, well, that was the last game of the weekend that we watched. Let's talk Lions and Bucks. Let's move over there. So, Robert, I know you were feeling it. Tell us, how are you feeling?
So, a couple of things. I thought Dan Campbell made some questionable coaching calls. I feel like there should have been a few challenges that he should have made, but that at the end, the result was what it was. The Lions, I think, need to understand what running down the clock means in a playoff game, because those last 90 seconds were a little nerve-wracking. That was intense. But that interception that just couldn't have been placed more beautifully. Personally, it was excellent. And that game was everything that I could have hoped for a playoff game. I really thought that the Lions were going to stick it to the Bucks just because they were at home. But what a great battle.
I mean, I thought the game was going to go pretty similar to how the game went last time they played, which is the Lions just kind of pretty much, dominated and won the game. And I feel like that's kind of what happened. I know it was kind of iffy at halftime because it was tied, but I still felt like the Lions were going to pull it out.
Yeah, I don't know though. I feel like even for the Bucks though, the Bucks are entering a really interesting time because there was a moment within that game where Baker Mayfield was really hitting its stride. Like he was really hitting his stride. And so I think that, if you're looking at it just from the Buccaneers perspective, you have to feel really good going into next year, possibly with this idea that Baker Mayfield is your quarterback. Now, you may end up losing Canales possibly for a head coaching gig, so you got to figure out what the plan B, is there. But I think
he's only in play for the Carolina Panthers. I think that's the only one he's really in play for.
But I mean, still though, like you got to figure out like, with where you're at, and especially with the job that Todd Bowles has done. Like as we said earlier, like he is so underappreciated with what he's been doing, just in the NFL. He should never really have been let go of the Jets job. He should never really. He really should, ever since that point, have been given a head coaching gig ever since, and you're really seeing why he's been making the most of it.
What I like about Todd Bowles is he turns, he just turns crap into good stuff. Like the Bucks had no expectations this year. Nobody thought they were going to do anything at all.
A lot of
myself included.
Yeah, 5 wins, 6 wins, or whatever.
Yeah, that's myself included.
I'll say is Todd Bowles is getting a lot of shit for the fact that he didn't use that final timeout. But he said in his interview, the game was over. Like, there's no reason to use it at that point. So, I personally would agree with him. Like, I don't see it why you would use it at that point. But what do you do in that situation?
You don't need to take them with you. So it's okay to use it. But if you use it, you still got to have a plan of like, if you do get the ball back with a couple seconds, what are you going to do? I don't know if they really felt like they had that plan.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there were probably some things here and there where the Bucks probably could have done, a few things differently. And again, not to sound biased, but like Trey Palmer only catching one pass, you can easily, factor him in.
And what did he do on that one pass?
Exactly. Like
it was like a 30-yarder. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really good timing play. He had it, perfectly with Palmer. So I mean, like there are other things that you could easily have factored in, more within that. And I get it. It's kind of like the load management of how you want to operate an offense, But I mean, it's like there's things you can do differently. Obviously, Baker Mayfield in the beginning was a bit shaky. Like he was throwing passes left and right that were a billion miles an hour that no wide receiver decided to catch. Until he kind of settled down a little bit.
Mike Evans had a tough, 3 quarters?
I would
really started to turn it on.
I would say about like almost like a quarter and a half, really. But all in all, though, I came away really, really impressed with Detroit, though. I mean, like the fact about like where Dan Campbell has really built that team, and especially Aaron Glenn as a defensive coordinator, like his defenses have gotten so much better over the years under Detroit. And now you have a draft class, which is quite rare. Like it is actually quite rare.
Is really good.
That's
Like,
top tier.
Yeah, like for a draft class like that to perform at the way that they have at like such an elite level and have 2 prime offensive rookie of the year candidates. They won't win, but like prime, like 2 candidates like that are legit is.
Well, if you have 3 starters from a draft class, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They have 2 defensive studs out of this draft class and 2 offensive superstars on this draft class.
Yeah.
Like they blew it out of the water. And I'll admit, I was at the draft when they drafted Gibbs and Campbell in the first round. I was blown away. I was like, okay, sure, I guess.
And you weren't the only one. But Grant, I feel like
now I liked Laporta. I thought Laporta and Brian Branch were great draft picks.
Yeah.
For where they got them, but I just wasn't sure about Gibbs and Campbell. And
I think that Gibbs was a first round grade. I don't know if I would have taken him necessarily that high, but like you see necessarily why he's such a special talent, because like especially that run. Like he changed direction on a dime and just broke Winfield's ankles.
He took a little like I think he took the first 4 or 5 weeks to kind of like get his footing, and after he got used to everything, the guy's been lights out. Yeah,
and Laporta, I mean, the guy almost had 100 catches. Like, I mean, that's absurd for a rookie tight end.
Going off,
especially for a position too. Like, let's not forget, like the tight end position in general is a rather slow growing position in the NFL for a rookie.
Absolutely.
Don't tell Laporta that, because like Laporta is coming in and he's like taking the whole.
He's like, this is easy.
It's like,
but
this is what
I mean,
get to do every week. Done.
But by the same token, we shouldn't really be surprised about that, because I mean he came from Iowa. We know that Iowa is like tight end with the way that they build that program. Guys, all the way up from Dallas Clark to, what is it? Even guys like Noah Fant, and former, Detroit Lion, now Minnesota Viking, TJ Hawkinson was also in that.
And here's what's crazy. When they had Hawkinson, they never used him this way. Like, I think Hawkinson's as good a player.
And I think they learned. And it's clear that they learned from that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
There's our boy Clayton. What's up, Clayton? Your Bucks are crazy, bro. Crazy. Wait. Oh, okay. We'll talk about that in a moment, Clayton. We'll talk about that in a moment. I was so happy for the Lions. I'm so happy for the Lions.
I mean, it'll go against my prediction, because I told you that I'm picking the Ravens and the 49ers, but I'll be damned if I'm telling you I'm not rooting for the Lions next week.
Every week of the playoffs, my wife and I have had our rankings of like who are we going to root for in the Super Bowl? Because I'm not the guy that's just going to like go there and just like whatever. I'm going to get a jersey. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be rooting hard for that team. And like we've just been like weeding it down. And I think last week we were like, okay, Lions. If the Lions make the Super Bowl, we are all in on the Lions. Now, also, based on who's left, the 49ers are next. We want no part of the Ravens or the Chiefs. So, but
Lamar.
The Lions are such a great story, and we have a kind of a personal connection. My son, one of his friends from high school, was a gigantic Lions fan. Like, loved the Lions.
Yeah.
And his stepfather is a friend of mine, and he also is a big Lions fan. I've known him for almost 20 years. And unfortunately, this kid passed away 2 weeks after graduation. And every time I think about the Lions, I'm like, the Lions need to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They need to make it. This needs to happen. And I just feel bad that kid never got to see his team be this good. Like, that does hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it's not obviously it's not 100 years or 200 years or whatever it was for the Chicago Cubs in the World Series, but like it matters, man. Like when, and even if like the Rockies didn't necessarily win the World Series in 2007, like I will tell you, like that was so special, man. That was
one of the greatest times.
Like I'll tell you, that was so special. The 21-22, going to the the World Series like that, and like it was so special. And so like the fact that Detroit's now being able to experience something like that. Yeah, and actually let's not forget too, like the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets actually were putrid for a handful of years, right? So I mean, like, and so the fact that when the Nuggets winning their championship last year, it's like things like that matter, man. And so like
this could be another franchise to win their first. We had the Nuggets, we had the Vegas Golden Knights, and Texas Rangers.
Yeah. So I mean, the way that things have gone, it's certainly crazy. But I'll tell you, I just wanted 2 straight weekends where I didn't have any rooting interest, right? So like that's one of the reasons why I really wanted like Buffalo to win against Kansas City, because like I wanted my AFC Championship of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, going at it, and I wanted obviously
you would be happy with either outcome, right?
And I would have been happy with either outcome, and then obviously I got what I wanted in the NFC Championship, Detroit and San Francisco.
Right. I'm happy either way.
Yeah, and I'll be happy either way. I mean, there's a reason why I'm supporting Christian McCaffrey, right? But it's just like that game in general, I am stoked for that game. Like that is going to be like, I hope that's like an arena football game actually next weekend, or this upcoming week. I hope that thing is like nonstop, like 45-40, like offensive, like juggernaut, scoring and stuff like that. Because like the way the offense just orchestrates, oh man, that would be something. So I'm really looking forward to that game, and I also think that Brock Purdy is obviously very underrated. We talked about him a little bit, on our last show, but it was just like he's very underrated with the way he operates that. So I'm just super looking forward to that, and it's crazy too to think about like that game being Mr. Irrelevant against the number 1 overall pick.
Right. Man, and again, I'm kind of biased. The Lions did help me win a fantasy championship this year because I had Laporta, Sun God, and David Montgomery on my squad, and I was the highest scoring team, and I also had Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts, so my team was pretty good. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm super excited for the Lions. I hope they win. It's tough. I like the 49ers quite a bit. I think they're kind of like Broncos West for me. They have John Lynch. They've got Kyle Shanahan. Mike Shanahan helps advise them.
Randy Gregory.
McCaffrey's a Colorado boy.
Randy Gregory.
F. Randy Gregory. So I really I like the 49ers too. I like the way they play ball. They play defense normally. They didn't play defense last week, but they normally play defense, and they run the football, and they make they play action, and they run that West Coast scheme that we're so used to seeing. When I watch the 49ers play, I see the old Broncos. I see them lining up in plays, and I'm like, that's the same run play. Oh, it's play action. The guy's wide open. So, that's why I kind of like the 49ers too.
I'm just happy to see Christian McCaffrey get his due, man. Like, I like the fact that he's such a unit. Like, he is such a great back, man. If Lamar Jackson doesn't win MVP, give it to Christian. Like, it's just like he's such a special player. Like,
I would argue Christian McCaffrey is the MVP.
And that's fine. I just think that, like, and here's the thing. Like, obviously, we're Broncos fans, and not to circle back too much in time, in the Garrett Bowles draft, but it's like there was a reason why, like myself and probably others, wanted to trade up for a guy like a Christian McCaffrey, and now you're starting to see why, because it's like you're talking about truly like an all-purpose back.
We saw why right away. Like it took him no time at all to just blow shit up.
Yeah, so it's like obviously you never want to trade up for running back, but like you do it for a special player, regardless of the position. And it's pretty obvious that once you put if you will, a positionless player again with the San Francisco 49ers, it's like the best thing you could possibly imagine.
You're getting two players. You're getting a running back and a wide receiver.
Exactly.
So he's a little bit different, right? Which I also think Bijan is on that level as well.
He will
catch really well, right?
He will be soon.
So a little bit different style, but he can catch, he can run, and he can hit home runs. So 49ers, did that week off hurt them more than any other team? I mean, Baltimore had the week off. They came out and they handled business.
They were hot.
Not in the first half, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But I felt like that week off, as well as the rain, did not help the 49ers. Home field advantage did not help the 49ers in this one.
Yeah.
No, the Packers are notoriously good in bad weather.
Well, in Lambeau, Packers are great. I came away. I'm completely honest. Caleb knows this. I don't know if he hasn't commented in a while, so he's probably not listening now.
Yeah, I haven't got a notification for a minute.
You probably fell asleep.
I was not on the Jordan Love train. What he had shown in preseason, what he had shown in his game he played against the Chiefs, I was not on the Jordan Love train. And then he had the first couple weeks of the season, he looked pretty good. And then he went through that 4 or 5 week stretch when he lost to the Broncos. He did not look good. And there was they were talking about do we need to replace this guy? Or at least the media was. I don't think the Packers were, but the media was. Maybe he's not the guy. And then he just turned it on. And the whole second half of the season, that dude and it was funny because every game, you could just wait for it. You can even take a shot when they do it. Every game, the announcers would pull up Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers and show them throwing off their feet, and he would do the same thing, and they would immediately show it.
Man, Robert and Pink, I don't know if you've had this comparison, but it's I just think of the San Antonio Spurs every single time I think of the Green Bay Packers, because it's I look at them and it's you go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, now to Jordan Love, right? And obviously the San Antonio Spurs went from David Robinson to Tim Duncan to Kawhi Leonard for a period, right? So it's just when does it end? right? And then now, obviously, Wembanyama, right, is now in the league, right? So it's just like, when does it end? Like,
damn, that's really good, Cam. That's a really good comparison, my friend. Cheers to you. Cheers to you.
I'm really smart, Pinky. I swear.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. You're a really smart dude. That's why we like you.
That's why I have every 10th pod.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the login, so you log in whenever you want. Like nobody's like we don't even have to invite you anymore. You just show up.
I'll just be a troll.
That's okay. You like to troll me. Caleb loves it. So, I was really impressed by the Packers in this game.
Hey, how can you not be?
And I'm thinking we've been sleeping on LaFleur as a coach.
Like asleep? Like we're actually asleep?
I feel like we've just been sleeping on him. Like I think we thought like Rodgers was like a real like the reason why they were good and he won a couple MVPs under LaFleur. And maybe LaFleur is a little bit better than we thought.
It's fair. I mean, people were wondering that about, Belichick and Brady, right? So it's just like, yeah, well, it's also fair to assume it was possibly a Nathaniel Hackett problem as well. But, but
somehow he still has a job.
And we know why.
He led one of the worst offenses in the last 20 or 30 years of the league.
And he still has a job. In back-to-back seasons. So I don't know. I'll tell you that I think it's pretty obvious though what they have in their scouting department. And as much as I hated Brian Gutekunst with how they handled allegedly the Aaron Rodgers situation, they clearly know what is going on within that room and how to evaluate situations, because like who we are seeing within what Jordan Love is playing, like he is playing effortless football. Like it is almost like you're watching a magician play. Like he's making great decisions with the football, except for the last end of the game. But it's just like he's making so many smart decisions. He's doing it with a wide receiver room that is not. It's not really full of.
Let's talk about that for a sec. Wide receiver room. They did it on the broadcast, and it was awesome. A different receiver led every month of the season.
It's nuts. And thankfully, I mean, it helps a little bit that Christian Watson has been injured for a bit. But yeah,
Dontarius Wicks, who the hell is that guy?
Really good prospect out of West
Virginia. Some of us knew who Jaden Reed was. I knew who Reed was.
I did.
So I wasn't surprised that he was pretty good. And then Tyler Kraft, who's they drafted 2 tight ends, Luke Musgrave and Kraft. And then Christian Watson whenever he's healthy and decides he wants to play. And then the resurgence of Aaron Jones. At this point, I don't even know why they still try to give the ball to AJ Dillon. Like just hand the ball to Aaron Jones and let's go have some fun.
I don't know if they would ever pass the ball to Tyler Kraft. I do know they passed the ball to Tucker Kraft. But I mean, we all know that
Tyler sounded good. Tyler sounded good, okay?
Tyler sounds way cool. I mean, there's so what is it? Tyler the Creator? Yeah, so it definitely sounds like cooler. So
always busting my balls.
So yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, no, I think that it's pretty clear what they need, and I do think they need a wide receiver 1, really. But I'm just curious what they would do, because I mean, Christian Watson can be that guy. But he's had so many injuries, right? He's had so many injuries, and so like they need a guy that's going to be a consistent guy. Maybe they go out and trade for Devontae Adams again. I'm joking, but I don't know. I just they're so. I mean, let me ask you this: who are you more comfortable in the future? The Green Bay Packers, and I can ask this too for mainly tomorrow, but like, who are you more confident in for their future? The Houston Texans and the Green Bay Packers, because they both feel. Because they both feel really, really good right now after what they had this year.
Man, you know what's so hard about that? You know what's so really hard about that? I'm gonna go Packers, and it's because the coach is the offensive coordinator, whereas in DeMeco Ryans has an offensive coordinator right now that is already getting head coaching interviews. He's going to lose that guy. And when he loses that guy, things could change. It might not be as big as Dayball and Allen, but it still might make a difference.
Dayball.
Like when Ben Johnson leaves, that might make a difference for the Lions. It's a concern. So I would say Packers right now.
Why did you say Houston, Robert?
I just think that coaching staff aside, the talent that they're building there in Houston right now is immense, and I think it's just going to be able to carry them that much further. I just feel like with the Packers, it's kind of a big question mark in some cases.
I started thinking about even as going as far as like the division they play in. And even that I couldn't really decipher because I was like, the Packers play in a pretty weak division. I mean, the Lions are there. So I guess there's that.
Yeah, but the Lions didn't become relevant.
The Texans actually don't have really much competition in that division, in my opinion. But
see, it's tough for me because it's like
that's a great question, Cam. It's a great question.
Because I feel like it's win-win either way. Because it's like the way that it is. Like, I don't think it would matter. Like, obviously, you want to speculate because that's the business we're in. When we're content creators like this, is you speculate. So, like, let's just say Ben Slowick does take a head coaching gig, which is certainly possible in this cycle. Like, let's say he does. It's fair to assume we see a drop off, right? It's fair to assume will we see a drop off. But the thing is, like, DeMeco Ryans is such an impressive CEO level coach already as a rookie. And he's already gotten them through really tough situations throughout the season that I can very easily, well, I shouldn't say easily, but I can choose the Houston Texans as possibly a team, that, should I say a team that I would probably feel a little bit more comfortable with than say the Green Bay Packers. The only reason why I say that, again, here I am doubting the Packers again. I don't know why, but I just think that like the Jordan Love stuff, like you just wonder at some point, will that rear its ugly head just a little bit? Because again, right, he was a project coming out of college at a Utah State, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just like at some point, will he be that top 15 guy, but just not yet, or have decent enough moments where he's reaching that breadth of being, inside the top 10 on a few games. So like, versus like CJ Stroud, you kind of know exactly with what you think you're going to be getting, so it's just like the real question probably isn't necessarily, are you more confident in Jordan Love? Or are you more confident in CJ Stroud with that situation? I guess
I'm confident in both of them. Like finishing up on the Packers and 49ers, like the Packers lost that game. I was rooting for the Niners because I've kind of picked them previously to go to the Super Bowl. So I was rooting for them. But I came away just like completely like the 49ers could not stop the Packers. The Packers didn't punt until like the fourth quarter. Like I said, the red zone didn't work out for them. They kicked quite a few field goals, but I just came away really impressed with the Packers, and I was kind of down on the 49ers and just like I could not understand how they couldn't stop what the Packers were doing. It just like that defense, like maybe they miss Hufanga quite a bit. I don't know if I'm even saying his name right, but I know he's a Pro Bowl safety that he's out. They couldn't get any pressure on Jordan Love at all as well. And that was just concerning to me. But they came out with the win. And I will say the one thing that put me a little bit down on Jordan Love was like, it's first down. You're driving. You've still got a minute left. Why do you think you're John Elway and you can throw across your body downfield into triple coverage? You're not John Elway, bro. Like your arm's pretty good. I'm gonna give him credit. He's on my fantasy team. He gave me a championship. I watched a lot of Jordan Love this year, and he made me very happy. But
Did you see the comparison, by the way? That was going on Twitter. Did you see it, Robert?
I missed it.
So they did a comparison with Brett Favre when he was with the Vikings against the Saints. It was the divisional round where Brett Favre threw across his body, and it was to the middle of the field for an interception late in the game, like around 40 to 50 seconds.
That was the championship game.
Was the championship game? But yeah, so like he threw across his body, and they said it was almost a spitting image of the Jordan Love interception. You know, so it was kind of funny. Yeah,
early Favre could have made that throw. Late Favre couldn't make that throw.
I don't know though. Like that's kind of a no throw. Frankly, there's only one quarterback in this league that can make that throw, and he's in our division. But it's just like there's only one quarterback that can.
Allen can make that throw. Allen's got an arm enough to make that throw. But
not a wide receiver room you can count on.
He doesn't have a wide. That's absolutely true.
Going back to that conversation.
And again, he was thrown to Christian Watson, and I was like, is Christian Watson really that dude that can go up in triple coverage and go get that ball? I don't think so. So, like, I don't know what he was thinking. It was first down. If it's fourth down, I'm going to totally be like, you know what? You got to make a play. It's fourth down. Like, sure. It was first down. That was so bad. What do we got here? Oh, Billy, say his name. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes could probably make that throw. Josh Allen can make that throw. Early Brett Favre could make that throw. And I have no doubt in my mind Elway could make that throw. But there's not many guys that can throw cross-body into triple coverage and hit the guy.
Not.
There's not.
Yeah,
so
not.
The fact that he thought he could do that, I just don't know.
In that situation on first down, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what.
So
I think we just named two guys that can make that throw, Billy. I don't.
He was referring to Cam's comment of the guy in our division that can make that.
Oh yeah. I mean, we talked about it. It's Patrick Mahomes. He can make that throw. I have no, there's no argument. Mahomes' arm is strong enough to make that throw.
That's a name that Cam doesn't speak anymore.
I'll just refer to him as,
he shall not be named.
I'll just refer to him as Jackson Mahomes due to 2023.
So,
Robert, you know what to do.
49ers won. So, good on them. Moving on to the Texans and the Ravens. Did the Texans make the Ravens kind of shit their pants in that first half?
Sure, but Caleb's was spot on that, though. Caleb did say that it was going to be a blowout, if you will, or that Baltimore was going to beat them by a couple scores.
I said that they would win pretty good. I didn't think the Texans would be able to keep up.
So this is Caleb's prediction from earlier that I forgot to read. So Caleb's head is saying that for where this is going up.
No,
we're gonna wait. Okay.
If he's talking about who's gonna win next week, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Matchups for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's right after this.
I'll save it.
So I will say, I've not been a Lamar guy. I've given him grace. His previous offensive coordinator was not the guy that really helps you grow as a quarterback and throw the football. Also, you have to admit, until this year, they didn't give him a lot of receiving weapons to throw the ball to. That was a fact. I am very impressed.
Numbers last season, though.
He still puts up some decent numbers, but when you watch the game, you come away going like his passing has not always been consistent. This year, with OBJ, who runs that slant, and he hits OBJ on the slant like it's nothing. Like that slant's always open. And then Zay Flowers, he just gets the ball to.
Yeah.
He just gets the ball to Zay Flowers, and things happen. Good things happen.
But still, even from last season to now,
I am admitting, Robert. Hold on. And it's only because Caleb's not even here.
Okay.
So it feels good to do it. I was wrong.
All right.
Lamar can throw the football.
But the other thing is like, did Caleb hear this? Like that's the other part of this question.
That's on him. If he doesn't go back and watch it, that's on him. I said it. It's recorded. So
it's recorded here.
But again, I think all things kind of helped. A new offensive coordinator that's making Lamar try to play more in the pocket. Also, he's got weapons that are open. Zay Flowers is open. OBJ is open. Isaiah Likely, damn, that dude's awesome. So, like, Lamar's grown as a quarterback and still will run the football, and it's still the fastest player on the field on any given day. So, Ravens handled business, and it was the second half. It was 10-10 at halftime. But they scored 3 straight touchdowns to pretty much finish this game.
They're just a well-oiled machine, man. Like with Lamar Jackson, they're just a well-oiled machine. And like, I know Caleb has talked a little bit about this with Lamar Jackson, but it's spot on. It's like the way it is in his college career and the way that it's been transpiring with his pro career, it's almost symmetry, like in a sense, because it's like in every single year at Louisville, he got better. He got better within the pro style system. He got better as a passer. He got better with what he was, been gifted by God, like his God gift ability and running the football. Like he just became a true dual threat player. And you look at the pros, like he's already won an MVP. There's a reason why he won an MVP, and even since then, he's gotten better every single year. Like he's gotten better every single year. And now you give him a true offensive minded, guru in Todd Monken, which, I said on the show, you guys will nerd out on this, but it's like, if you were to take Stetson Bennett and put him into the super soldier, syndrome, what is it? The super soldier serum, like, operation room, like that Chris Evans was pre Captain America. And he comes out and he's Lamar Jackson. Like, if that's what Todd Monken was basically doing, like, you're basically molding what Stetson Bennett had at Georgia and just souping it up times 10 because of who Lamar Jackson is. And at this point in his career, he's far and away at this point one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Frankly, maybe the best the way he is. And like, even for Michael Vick, like it's just, Michael Vick was an exceptional quarterback. There's no denying that. And maybe it did look a little bit awkward that it was coming out of his left hand versus his right hand, but Vick was a bit sporadic, right? Vick was a bit sporadic with the way that he was as a passer. So it's just like, you look at Lamar, like he's far more accurate and he's doing it with far less talent, which frankly is far more, I should say far less talent at the wide receiver position, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and so it's just like, now you give him and to your point, a very semblance, to a certain point of like a wide receiver room, which has been maybe the best wide receiver room they've had in, a couple of years. You see why Lamar Jackson has been just a dude. Like he's playing at such a high level with guys like Zay Flowers, who may be better between he and Jordan Addison. Odell Beckham Jr. has always been like that dog type of wide receiver. It's just at times in his late career, it's been a bit inconsistent, and obviously injuries, but now like he's just, you're now given this opportunity with Todd Monken to see all these pieces molded into one, especially just a ruthless running game with Keaton Mitchell, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill. Like it's just like, there's just from top to bottom, they are just.
Don't forget Dalvin Cook.
Oh yeah, that guy. That was another reason why I wanted the AFC Championship game. I wanted to see James Cook and Dalvin Cook, like I just don't know how there's any team right now. And I love the 49ers too, but like I don't know how that's going to go when they face the second time, because it's like they're just so well coached right now, the Ravens. Like I don't know how anybody can beat them. Like again, like Houston, I think surprised him a little bit early on, right? But then Baltimore got it together. Was like, all right, we're good. All right, we'll score like 3 touchdowns and X amount of minutes, and we'll call it good. We'll win like 30, 34 to 10. or
And the
what was it?
Texans
Yeah.
didn't turn the ball over either. Like they just
No.
shut them down and like kept scoring. Like that. Baltimore's a tough team, man. Baltimore wins it all. Won't be surprised.
That's who I have picked. I've said from the last several weeks, I've got the 49ers and the Ravens going. I'm still going to root my ass off for the Lions on Sunday. I don't see it happening for them, but the Ravens, I have a feeling, are just going to be the
as
team.
bad as that 49ers defense played on Sunday. Anything's possible, baby.
I mean, hey, I'm living on a prayer. I'll go with it.
Okay,
Like,
Bon Jovi.
I'm not taking anything for granted after watching how bad that 49ers defense was. So,
especially
the Lions just got to play. They just got to come in with the right game plan, and I think they can beat the 49ers. And again,
here's the thing I'd say about that. At some point, those fourth down conversions are going to bite the Lions in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Especially against the 49ers, that's going to bite them in the butt. Like, the way it's been going, like, and especially a team like that, you have to tread lightly against a team like that because they're going to, make you pay on numerous situations. So I think they got to be really careful with how they operate. I know Dan Campbell is, a riverboat, if you will. I know that they've been using that riverboat run. He's a gambler. So, but I don't know. They do that against the 49ers and they fail a few times. That alone could knock them out of their own mojo.
Mm-hmm. No, true.
I also think if they don't do those things though, then they're not being who they are as well.
But you're also it's a double-edged sword though, because like the moment you fail that, you're literally gifting the opportunity of a lifetime on those situations.
Now, here's the big thing. Debo might not play.
It doesn't matter to me. It's the 49ers. It's Kyle Shanahan. It really doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So I guess, moving on to the final four here. 49ers and Lions. I'd assume most of us with our heads will pick the 49ers. I'm rooting for the Lions, but I think the 49ers are. Yes, I think their 49ers are a really tough team.
I picked the 49ers, but I'm going to root for the Lions and hope something comes of it.
I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm just hoping for a good game. I think it's going to be the 49ers, but I will, as I said earlier, those fourth down conversions, if it becomes a bit of a regular thing and they're, trusting their analytics department a little bit too much, I mean, that can bite them. Like that can seriously bite them. And if they do it rather regularly, that game can get at hand fast.
I mean, Cam, you're absolutely right. The Broncos know this for a fact because the Chargers will always go for it on fourth down, and they seem to not get it, and that always changes the game against the Broncos. Like that's how we beat the Chargers. Yeah, they always do that.
Well,
so I totally get it.
And obviously that makes that obviously helps get a coach fired too, as well. But in terms of the Chargers, but I think on the other part of it though is, as much as I love what Detroit is building, like there's no way about it. The 49ers are just the more complete team. Like, it's just up and down, even defensively. Like, I don't know. I also could even see the 49ers. This is a bit of a hot take. I'm not saying, I should say hot opinion. I'm not actually predicting, but it's just like, I can see the 49ers beating the Lions by a couple scores. And the only reason why I say that is because the way Jared Goff operates in the pocket is roughly the same way Brock Purdy would operate in the pocket. I mean, so like, if you're talking about it in terms of a carbon copy quarterback, as far as what the 49ers have been seeing all off season and all, season in practice, it's certainly possible that the 49ers may be looking at it in the sense of this could be a golden opportunity where, we could create turnovers, and it's at home. It's at home. It's at Levi Stadium.
That's one of the biggest things.
And it's also
Jared
not a
Goff
dome.
doesn't play as well on the road.
No.
So that does help the 49ers. Now, again, is it raining this weekend? Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
I hope so.
Because Brock looked off. He looked off a lot.
Gives the Lions a chance.
So, I like this game because I'm happy either way. The 49ers win. I'm going to root for them. I've got a Montana jersey. If the Lions win, I'm super happy for them. I got to go buy a jersey. I'm still happy. So, it's a win-win for me. But
yeah,
the 49ers should win this game.
Yeah, you and me both. I'll be like Rob Lowe. I'll be sitting there in the stands. I'll be wearing my NFL cap, and I'll just be, cheering them on, like, go team.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Blow them out of the water.
Which could be
that could
the game of the weekend, really.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. With what I said about Baltimore.
What we've seen from Baltimore this season and what we've seen from the Chiefs this season would lead us to believe Baltimore should blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
They should just stomp. They should stomp all over them.
Yes. Should. Yes.
But that's regular season Kansas City Chiefs. For 6 years now, we've seen the playoff Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard to bet against them.
I will today.
Yes.
Look.
I'm over the Chiefs, bro.
Look, guys. And I've told Andy, he's my best friend. He's my brother. He's a Chiefs fan. I am dreading going to the Super Bowl and having the Chiefs be there. Like,
sure, I would be too.
I tell you,
yeah, man.
I was at his house for the Super Bowl this last year.
Oh, dang!
I was rooting so hard for the Eagles because I knew we were going to Kansas City for the draft, and I didn't want to go to Kansas City for the draft after they won the Super Bowl, and they won, and it was so painful. And there were so many, like, the Chiefs fans showed out. They did a great job in Kansas City. They were very respectful. I will say that. But I don't want to see them in the Super Bowl. I don't. I want to Ravens. I'm rooting for you hard. I have rooted for the Ravens in the past because I love Ray Lewis. I didn't root for them in 2012 against the Broncos, but I rooted for them against the 49ers. So
I wonder why.
I like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
I wonder why. But no, I just see that part of me almost just feels like it's just this truly is setting up for like a Baltimore win, though. Like, I agree with you in that because it's like it's at home, like it's in Baltimore, like it's just it's setting up for this idea that Baltimore is going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, and I mean, and I agree with you. I mean, you can definitely not count out Patrick Mahomes, especially given the greatness and everything we've seen. I mean, if there's anything that Tom Brady has taught us, it's that you can never underestimate greatness.
I mean, how many times did we write Brady off?
Oh no, that's what that's what I'm saying. I get that. Like, you can never underestimate greatness. You really can't. But to that point, though, deficiencies to a certain point will catch up with you. And Baltimore, the way that they are too as a defense, and the way that they are, the way that they've even been playing on that, we haven't even been talking about the defense much either. But it's just like for the Ravens, it's like they're a very bloated defense right now. And if there's one type of safety that Patrick Mahomes has a very real weakness for, it's those tall, lanky safeties that are game-wrecking safeties.
Is Kyle Hamilton playing, though?
I don't know. But like if he's playing, like that's a real weapon for the Ravens.
They have two guys in the secondary that are tough. Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey. And I don't think either one of those dudes played this weekend against Texans.
So the other thing certainly to watch is Mark Andrews.
I think he's playing.
Exactly. So I'm just saying the other one.
He's playing because he was close this last week.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's the other thing too about this Ravens team. They literally have been doing this without Mark Andrews. Like, so if you give Mark Andrews this team and against the Kings, and also too, it's like AFC Championship. There is no way, that possibly, Mark Andrews is sitting out of this game. Like, there's no conceivable way. So I don't know. I feel like Baltimore. I think that they do pull it out. Maybe it's a little bit close, but I think Baltimore finally gets it done and they can move on. Had it been an Arrowhead, I probably would give the slight to the Chiefs in that regard. But because it's at home, and it's against Kansas City, I hate Kansas City. I don't want Kansas City to win. Kansas City sucks, except for barbecue. I want Baltimore to win. Also, I also lived in Virginia for like, I also lived in Virginia for like, 7 years. So I'm biased somewhat to the East Coast, if you will. And I like Annapolis, which is like 30 minutes away from Baltimore. So yeah, go Baltimore.
I mean, if they're playing the Chiefs, that's it. Like, if they were playing any other team, I probably might root for the other team. But like, Kyle Hamilton did play against the Texans. So he will be playing against the Chiefs. I wonder if Marlon Humphrey will be playing. That's the other guy that's really, really good in their secondary.
And there's still Caleb's take that I got to throw out there too. So Caleb's head saying Chiefs, heart is saying Ravens. He's torn on the 49ers Detroit game. The Ravens and the Lions would be an epic matchup for the Super Bowl. But it's going to sound a little crazy. He's leaning more towards the Chiefs and the Lions. Some things just telling me things aren't going to go the way we think. That's what
Billy, I don't know if you know this, bro. I don't give a shit if any of the teams in the division are good. Like, I'm never rooting for any team in my division. Like, that's not happening.
See, it's like bowl season. Actually, it's not like bowl season. In bowl season for college football, you're actually rooting for your conference to do well, because if your conference does well, that bodes really well for your conference. In the pros, I ain't touching my other division rival winning a Super Bowl and rooting for him. No, absolutely not.
There's just some things you can't do.
Yeah. Billy, I look, I rooted for the Chiefs one time.
Why? First, why?
Hold on. Like I said,
like, I need to know.
I've already said this. My best friend is a Chiefs fan.
Okay.
He had not experienced a Super Bowl win in his lifetime. It was my 40th birthday. I got drunk as hell. I didn't even see the Chiefs win.
So respect, you don't actually remember it. You don't remember it.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all. I remember J-Lo and Shakira shaking their ass. I don't remember the second half, right?
The one thing you remember. One thing you remember.
I remember a couple things before that, but we had a really good time. But I said I was going to root for the Chiefs that year because he had never had that feeling. I'd had that feeling with the Broncos 3 times already. So I was like, okay, it's okay if you have that once. And then he's had it twice. Done. We're donezo. We're donezo.
Okay, I give you a pass. I give you grace, but no more. No soup for you.
Definitely no more for that. No more Chiefs. No more Chiefs. So, yeah, Billy, that will not happen. And I like Andy Reid. I like Travis Kelce. I like Mahomes on the field. I don't like he seems to be kind of a
Hey, Robert, can you mute Pinky?
Sure.
You cannot mute me. I can mute. I am in control. All right. So Ravens are going to win. We can agree on that.
Yes.
So it'll be Ravens and 49ers, like Robert predicted.
So it actually wasn't just that. It was also the Super Bowl logo predicted it, right?
Yes.
I mean, technically, I guess the Ravens have to win to make that logo correct.
The 49ers have to win to make that logo correct. It's purple and red.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So there's only.
It certainly is not purple. Or certainly not blue.
I was gonna say I'm not sure where that comes in there. So
boys, I'm so excited, bro. I'm so excited. I gotta get this weekend over with. I gotta get it over with. I need to know who's going. Do I need to buy a jersey?
Buy a jersey.
I've got a 49ers jersey. I've got a Montana one. So if the 49ers go, I'm good. If the Lions win, I gotta go get a Lions jersey. I gotta get 2 Lions jerseys because my wife's gonna root for the Lions too.
I'm probably gonna have you get one for me too.
You should get one for me too.
I mean, it's $40, but yeah, I can get you one, Cam.
Give me a Barry Sanders jersey.
I'm gonna have to buy one because I'll borrow Andy. Andy's got a Barry Sanders jersey.
Oh yeah, we had that discussion a couple weeks ago. So
yeah,
I actually bought it for myself, and when I was much heavier, it wouldn't fit me. It'll fit me now.
Kudos, you got fat.
Man, that was
I did get fat, and then I lost weight. So
that was a low blow. That was just quick.
Ooh, that was. Cam, I am laughing. I did get fat. You're right. I tell you the story. It's not funny though. So of why that happened, but yeah, I actually do have a Lions jersey. I have to go buy one for my wife if something happened. If the Lions make it, I got to buy a 49ers jersey for my wife if the 49ers make it.
But here's the real question though. What Niners jersey?
I think she'd probably want a Purdy jersey. She actually said their center, and I was like, we can't find their center's jersey. Like, that's not going to happen. Because my son used to play center, so she has a thing about centers. But, yeah, you can't get the center's jersey. So
that brings me back to a question I asked. If you guys would own any jersey, obviously I'm wearing a Christian McCaffrey jersey, but if you guys would wear any non-favorite team jersey, and for Robert, I know you're a soccer guy too, but it's just like any jersey that you guys would own that's of not your favorite team per player.
I've got one for every NFL team.
Okay, so ignore Pinky. What would you say, Robert?
Ooh, man, that's tough. I honestly would, man.
It's okay. You can like I said, you can roll soccer into it. You can do.
No,
think about it for a moment, Robert. Think about it for a moment.
Percy. Mine would be a Van Persie jersey.
Okay.
Who the fuck is that?
So he was a big player for Arsenal for a time. But I really grew respect for him right around in the 2010s and going in the World Cup for 2014 because he put on a show for the Netherlands. That guy was just a beast. His flying header is by far one of my favorite goals that I've ever seen live. And I mean, especially watching the crushing defeat for Brazil, that was by far one of the coolest sporting moments I've ever seen. And if you haven't seen it, Pinky, I highly recommend you watch that moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to say like, my choice, because I actually do have it not in my possession because my dad actually took it from me and I'm bitter as all get out because of it. But back when we were over in London, of all things, when we were visiting London, I bought a Ronaldinho jersey.
Ooh.
But the thing that sucks, it's not in my possession anymore. My dad just randomly was like, "Hey, you know what? I want a soccer jersey," and so he took
And
the
takes
man.
that one.
He took the Manchester United with the AIG on the front, and
Classic.
and
I mean,
yeah,
Cam.
and what?
It might be many, 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 many years in the future. You'll get it back. Many, many years.
Or sooner, depending on how much I bully him. But so I don't want to say Ronaldinho, considering I already achieved that.
I have mine that I don't have at this moment.
See, you don't count. You have jerseys from like everybody and their mother.
Yeah.
Well, I only have like 15 NFL teams. I'm working.
Only.
I'm working till to 32. But the jersey I would want to have that I don't would be a Vince Carter Toronto Raptors original logo jersey.
I'll have to wear that for the pod sometime. I have that. Well, it's the Mitchell and Ness uniform.
Right. With the dinosaur on it, it's beautiful.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love that. Love it.
So football related, I probably would go to one of the quarterbacks. So I probably would go. It really doesn't matter for me, but I probably would go with Purdy. I probably would go with either Kirk Cousins.
That was gonna be my second choice.
Or even Lamar, or maybe even a CJ Stroud, right? But I don't know. I feel like I would.
My son has a CJ Stroud on order right now.
Yeah, so I probably would go somewhere within the quarterbacks.
It's funny
Baseball.
You say that, Cam.
Well, I was gonna say baseball is like I'm a big Griffey nerd, and like the one jersey I want right now is, and I want to find it, is the All-Star Home Run Derby jersey that Ken Griffey wore at Coors Field when he wore the Home Run Derby. I want that uniform, and I want it in my possession.
What year was that?
98.
Okay.
So I got my two for you, Cam. For football, it'd be Kirk Cousins. I actually came really close when I went to Minnesota last summer. Or no, 2 summers ago. He was a Spartan. I loved watching him play, especially beating Wisconsin with that Hail Mary. That was just epic. That's always been a big, huge moment for me. Baseball would be Larry Walker, the classic. I do the classic pinstripe just because he was my favorite player growing up. I've got baseball cards at the yin yang for him. I've got his rookie card from when he was for the Expos. So, Crazy Train was always a big, huge song for when I was a kid. So that'd be one that I would really want to work into my collection.
Yeah, I love baseball. Baseball is my number one sport. I tweeted it tonight. Like, baseball is my number one sport. It's my favorite sport. I do so much, football content, obviously, but it's just like, for people that don't know, baseball is like my number one sport. It's my favorite sport of all time. It's the only sport truly I played maybe, the most, if you will. That and basketball, but I love baseball, man.
When we get together, Cam, I'll have to bring my cards over sometime so you can take a peek.
I don't have my cards with me, but I also still have like all these cards like that's in a tub too. So like I haven't even gotten rid of it. I think the most expensive card that at least granite mold, and I'm losing my memory fast. But the card that I have at least the most expensive that I know of that's in my possession is a Grant Hill card. It was like a holographic card.
Okay.
And we met him on the East Coast at a mall, and he signed it for us.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's so cool.
Actually, a cool autograph that I got going back to earlier from the cast, Todd Helton. One of the very few times I got to meet him, I got his autograph on one of his cards, but he signed it too quick and handed it back that he smudged it just enough where it left his thumbprint. So I've got his fingerprint and his autograph on the card.
Okay, so this is a funny Todd Helton story. I have to say this. Now that he's a Hall of Famer, too, which, by the way, congratulations to Todd.
Yes.
So it's funny that you mentioned Helton. I have a Todd Helton signing, obviously, and I think I have a few. I don't know where the others are, but this is funny. So we were living in Virginia at the time, and obviously we take trips, here and there to Colorado for like, games and stuff, and so like I got a few some autographs here and there through my grandpa and like meeting and having him sign. Well, there was a game that was taking place over in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. I can't remember. It's like the old Three River Stadium, which is where we went to go see a game, or Citizens Bank, right? So we went there, and it was when I don't know if you guys know this name or recall this name back when he was with the Rockies, but Benny Agbayani was with the Rockies at the time, and so they were like all in that signing autographs line like before a game. So Helton he's coming along this way. I hand him my glove to sign. He looks up and moves along to someone else to start signing autographs. And the only thing that I had as far as like a deduction off of that was like, oh, I signed you way too many times. Like I don't need to sign you, like I've signed so many autographs for you. I'm just not going to sign one for you. And
That's amazing.
I ended up with Benny Agbayani up an autograph for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man. God. So cool.
Sports and all the memories. Great times. Pinky, I sent that video. You should check it out.
I'll check it out. I saw it in the chat. I'll check it out.
Is it the Bad Batch trailer? Because dude, you should totally catch it.
I did watch Bad Batch season.
Don't tempt me, Caleb.
I watched Bad Batch season 1. Just so you guys know, I did watch that.
Season 2, and now season 3 is.
I didn't watch season 2, but I did watch season 1. So
like just with the 2 minutes that we got, I'm like, I'm done. That's it. I don't need it. That's it.
And then you know what happened? You were like, I'm really mad they're ending it.
No, actually, I'm very happy with it because there's no reason. Like, one, this series didn't need to be made. Like, it was just complete and total fan service because they came at the season 7 for Clone Wars, so they were here for like 5 minutes, and then we got 3 whole seasons of 2 whole seasons now, soon to be 3rd, of pure epicness, and we're getting Emperor Palpatine back, Cad Bane's coming back, and Asajj Ventress. So, like, there can't be a single problem in the world.
I mean, there's this really funny meme that I saw. It was a video, and it was the scene in it was with Thor, right? Thor and Chris Pratt,
yeah.
when they say like, I'm in charge. Of course. And they have Thor's Dave Filoni and Chris Pratt as Kathleen Kennedy, and Kathleen or Chris Pratt goes, I'm in charge. He goes, of course
You are.
of course, yeah, of course. We really know deep down who's in charge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was talking with a buddy of mine. He was actually on Mainly Broncos the other day for a guest, and it was Brandon Keckler. And he's a huge Star Wars nerd. And I told him, I said, like, I feel like, and I will admittedly say I liked 7 to 9. I didn't love 7 to 9, but I feel like the reason why Filoni and others are creating these series and stuff, like what we're seeing right now, is because of all the crap that happened, the reviews and stuff from 7 to 9. And so everything that you're seeing from here to what we'll probably end up getting until 7 is, if you will, fan service, but it's to patch everything that is together so that it's truly like one cohesive story from there to 9, so that, or even after that, hence Ray's coming back.
Movie.
Ray's coming back. So it's like, Dave Filoni is just an absolute genius, man.
Let's just be honest though. there are good things in 7, 8, and 9. There are.
Completely.
There really are.
Absolutely.
Ray Skywalker is a thing.
There's just certain things that really
Robert.
like. You're like, are you serious? Like, who signed off on this?
I think I triggered Robert.
Oh, man. Like
Making Skywalker a bitch. Who signed off on that?
I think I triggered Robert.
you got Mark Hamill, man, like going off on 60 Minutes. Like, this isn't my Luke Skywalker. Like, no shit, Sherlock. This is nobody's Luke Skywalker. Who came up with this? And
Like,
why are we doing it?
I actually thought that movie. Which movie was it? It was 8, but which?
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. I was okay
I really liked The Last Jedi. I'm not gonna lie.
until they made Luke Skywalker a bitch.
Yeah,
And then I was
the
like,
rest of the movie
I'm out.
Was
I'm out.
great. The rest of the movie, all things aside, was fantastic.
Like
And-
him forcing himself onto this like other world and fighting, I thought was cool. And then he was like, I exercised all my energy. I'm done. I'm dead.
Yeah. See, I don't know if I hated that. Because like he was at that point.
I hated
like,
that. Luke Skywalker deserved better than that. Than to just like go away in a pile of dust.
But yeah.
She just
So I-
set off like Darth Vader.
Like
but-
if
like, you know,
if Luke Skywalker dies in a Jedi, like in a lightsaber battle, I could get behind that. I can.
could have had it with
But
Colin Trevorrow.
Him to die in a pile of dust because he forced himself onto another planet and it was too much for him to handle. That is awful. Whoever wrote that is awful. Rian Johnson, you suck.
It's okay. What I would like to
And
see
I like
happen-
Rian Johnson. Like I like Knives Out. That's a fun movie.
Yeah, he can do that shit any day.
Like,
Just leave
yeah.
Star Wars alone.
Leave Star Wars alone.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that I think would be really creative and tweaking this Skywalker verse, if you will, is let's do world between worlds situation, and maybe bring back Kylo Ren a little bit, maybe see a little bit more Ben Solo, and do a little bit of that. I mean, I liked the fact that you at least saw Ben Solo in 9. I also was not understanding how he literally died, and you didn't see him as a Force ghost near the end of the movie.
Just but then we get Luke and Leia, and I'm like, what?
Like, for one, you fell in love with one another, which was going to happen anyway. But like, you don't see a Force ghost anywhere. Like, so.
Well, and again, in the movies in general, does Finn really need to be in the movie?
Yes.
I mean, he serves a point for like 2 seconds, and then it's the rest of it's just
Like his
thrown out the
instant like
window.
love affair with Rey after just meeting her makes no sense to me, like at all. I'll give whoever
John
who
Boyega.
did 7?
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. I'll give him credit. When I first watched that movie, I at least had like that fun and that feeling like this was Star Wars. And then the
Because it was a
second
New
time I
Hope,
watched that
but-
movie, I was like, what the hell? This is literally just a New Hope redone. Like, so the first
Yes.
time I watched it, I was happy. The second time I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is horseshit. So,
But what they were capturing, or what they were trying to capture, I will say, at that point, was spot on. But then everything else they did past that was garbage.
Agree. Yeah, I agree with that. It's okay though. Dave Filoni is going to save us all, and
We're getting
Yeah.
2 Star Wars movies from him and season 4 of Mando, so like everything's fine.
we're
what other movie? I know he's doing a Mando movie. What other movie he's doing?
So that's the thing. So they what was it, 2 weeks ago? They came out with doing a Mando movie now in between season 4. They're gonna have this Ahsoka Mando convergence and have a movie with that, and that'll be its own thing. And then we should get season 4 of Mandalorian.
Sabine,
There's a lot going. Ah, yes.
Sabine and Mandalore. Oh,
Couldn't be better. Couldn't be
see,
better.
all this
And,
is
and
just gonna be.
I'm just waiting for Dathomir, man. That by far was the best like scene. Just seeing Dathomir in live action.
Mhm. Well, and I think that there's so much creative liberties how they could do the story. So like, what I would ideally like, and obviously, I guess according to Ahsoka's cast, the guy who played Marok was the guy who, or Marok was the guy who played Starkiller in a very famous, in a famous video game for those nerds that are listening, the Force Unleashed. So that's a story I would love to see unfold and possibly like dropped into the Ahsoka timeline, if you will.
Referring
Like,
to this beautiful thing.
which one? One or two? Both.
Pick
See,
one.
that's the right answer. Yeah. So that would be the ideal. One of the ideal ones for me is like doing some and obviously the obvious one now that Hayden Christensen's back in the mold of, doing a
Just
Darth Vader.
movie.
Just do a Vader. Just do a Vader
Needs
series.
to be a hard R John Wick. Like it needs to be violent.
Yeah, the Vader series would be epic, and I kind of want an Obi-Wan season 2, just to kind of see that
a little bit more.
further that a little bit more. Even though there were like bits and pieces of like the Obi-Wan series, I wasn't really all that a fan of.
Yeah.
But that fight scene though, true Star Wars catharsis right there.
That was another big complaint I had about the whole 7, 8, and 9. I'm like, okay, I get that the art of lightsaber combat has died off, but these are some shitty ass combat scenes.
Bro.
Like, come on.
The fact that Rey knows how to wield a lightsaber like day one is like horrible.
Yeah. But,
All right, enough geeking now for today.
yes.
Now
So one bit of news, Pinky. March 14th, Invincible Part 2 is coming.
Thank God. Is it going to be every week though? Or they
To
drop
my
it all?
understanding, no, it should be every week, I think.
I hate that.
But
I hate that.
we got that coming, so that's exciting. Bullseye was just confirmed for Daredevil.
Daredevil has moved from 18 episodes
Cam's
to
eyes.
13.
Oh, I'm in heaven.
Yes, dude.
Daredevil is gonna be amazing. Like, just give me some Marvel semblance right now. Like Marvel's in the toilet right now.
Daredevil is one of the top Marvel things they've ever done.
And yep.
Season 1 and 3 are fantastic.
Especially Punisher. Punisher's underrated.
Yes.
Punisher's good. Season
And-
2 not as good. Season 1 really good.
Yes. So that was big. Carl Urban just wrapped on Mortal Kombat part 2. So that's exciting.
That's a fun movie.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat 1 was fun.
I've always loved Carl Urban, and the fact that he's playing Johnny Cage, I think, is just excellent. With him being Butcher, it doesn't get any better for me.
I also
Did you watch Cam? Did you watch Gen V?
Not yet. I finished watching The Boys though. Like once I heard that Jensen Ackles was getting involved on The Boys, I was like, okay,
Jensen Ackles. I do like him.
I'll get caught up and just start watching this, and I got hooked on The Boys. So I haven't watched Gen Z yet. So I'm planning to get caught up on that. But I mean,
Gen V is pretty good.
Yep,
it is pretty good.
It's also necessary to watch for the next season of The Boys, so I'm just gonna put
Yeah.
that there.
But I mean, yeah, as far as like Carl Urban, I love Carl Urban. I thought he was like the most underrated character in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
And like, I thought Doom was terrible except for Carl Urban, but I mean, like he's great. And frankly, I even
That was
thought
like The
that
Rock's second movie.
right. Which, by the way, The Rock has never been in a movie that's like an A movie. By the way, like
No.
the only A movie that he may have ever been in was Moana.
No, I mean, okay.
That's definitely an A movie.
Wait,
That's definitely an A movie.
Time out for the 5 seconds he's in it. I mean, The Mummy Returns is pretty.
5 seconds doesn't qualify a name.
I'm just saying. It opens with him, so I'm gonna give him that much.
Hey, I enjoyed Scorpion King, guys. I did.
I did too. The Scorpion, just the one.
Billy's right. Jumanji.
Yeah, but he had Kevin
It
Hart.
wasn't a movie, and it was a sequel.
And he had Kevin Hart and like
Jack Black. Jack Black brought that whole movie. Let's be real.
I mean,
or is he talking about Robin Williams?
Jack Black's really good in that movie.
And then the last one that I will share is Tron 3 has started production again. So
Nobody gives a shit.
I give a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
Like the Tron sequel to Tron Legacy, or
So that's the problem, Cam, and that's why I'm treading lightly with this. Sam, Flynn, and Cora are not in it as of this moment. And the only reason why this is happening is because the Jared Leto Fundhouse is bringing this to fruition. He's funding it. He's a part of it. Evan Peters is part of it. There's some other big names that just got announced yesterday.
Then it's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible.
I don't care. I just want more Tron. That is a franchise that should have taken off and didn't, and I will never understand why.
You forgot about Dune too, by the way.
Well, I mean, I can't talk about that with Pinky because he's gonna just be all down about it.
Hold on. I've said my piece. The first half of the Dune sequel is awful. It's boring as fuck. I had to rewatch it like 3 times. The second half of that movie, I got interested. But then by the time I'm actually interested in it, it ends.
Because there's so much. And like I said, I've got the 29th and the 1st off, Pinky, to go see this like twice or 3 times.
29th of what?
Of February. I'm going to go see it midnight.
Are we in a leap year?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's my boy Aaron's birthday. I'll have to remember that.
I am prepared to go see this movie and have my socks blown off multiple times.
I feel like you're going to be disappointed.
Oh no! The watching behind the scenes promos right now is getting me going.
Dennis Villanueva is an awful director, so I think you'll be disappointed. Sicario was horrible. It could have been so much better. So much better. I watched that because so many people told me like, "Oh, Sicario is so awesome." I watched it and I was like, "What did you guys see in here? This is a lame fucking movie."
See, now we're let's talk about something happy, like Matt like Matt Reeves and the Batman 2 and how we're gonna get a young Dick Grayson. Like let's talk about that.
Matt Reeves. I like Matt Reeves. I can agree with you there.
I'm excited for that. That is gonna be good.
Because Matt Reeves did Kingsman and Kick-Ass, so I can get behind that.
So I don't know. Like I'm really excited for the Batman sequel. For one, it's at the young point of his career, so you could actually see something grow with Mr. Twilight as Batman.
But is Batman still going to be an emo bitch?
There's at some point, no, he won't be, because like
it's year 1 Batman. He's learning.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Sorry,
assumed
that was the worst part of that movie. The first Batman, good movie, but every time he was Bruce Wayne, he was an emo bitch. So.
There was only
to be Bruce Wayne.
There was only one thing I didn't like about the movie, and it was actually nitpicking, and actually had nothing to do with the fact that I hated Andy Serkis's Alfred. I actually did like the fact that there were limited scenes of Alfred interacting with Batman. That's the only thing I didn't like. But other than that, it was a really unbelievable movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We'll sit down and watch that movie for 3 hours any point.
Exactly.
All right. Any other nerd comments you want to make, Robert? I want to cut you off.
I don't think I have any. I mean, I could go forever, but I don't think there are any big, major breaking news moments happening outside of what I just talked about.
All right. Final thoughts.
Go Lions, man. Go Lions.
Yeah. Final
Cameron?
thoughts. I just downloaded Fortnite, so please pray for me.
Why?
Cam, we need to get you playing some better games, man.
Yeah, why?
I just downloaded Fortnite. I didn't say I'm playing it. I just downloaded it. I mean, I got Warzone. I've got, I just downloaded Among Us I just downloaded Among Us on the console, which is way better on a phone, by the way.
Cam, I'll be honest. Fortnite serves no purpose.
Did I say I was playing it already? I just said I downloaded it.
Save your memory. Delete that shit.
We can play better games.
All right.
Ken, I've got a whole beautiful gaming rig, a whole gaming TV behind me. Like, you pick a game, I probably got it.
He's got the whole GameStop set up behind him.
He does. He absolutely.
I've got the N64, the GameCube, the Wii, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, Xbox, like, you name it. I got it all.
Next, he's going to tell me he's got like a Sega Dreamcast or something.
Actually, my dad's going to be...
See?
So, like, I'm working on it. I'm working on a Genesis and a Saturn right now. Like, those are the big ones.
I had the Genesis and the CD. Loved it.
The Saturn. Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was able to pull. Granted, it's like a knockoff, if you will, but it's like those Super Nintendo's things that they, the consoles that they made. So I have one of those, and I've got like 6 or 7 games of the cartridges. I have the Jurassic Park, the Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, the Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest, I think, and probably my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, the Power Rangers the movie, Super Nintendo game.
See, the Alien 3 was always a good one. That was
best Super Nintendo game I played was WCW Nitro.
Oh,
loved that game.
Mine was Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball by a mile.
No, Billy, educate us. I don't know what game was.
Sonic.
That was the Sega Genesis with Mortal Kombat.
Robert, I hear nerdy like answering trivia questions.
He's like, I know that one for sure. I got this.
Yeah. As he's over this GameStop area picking out like random video games.
Oh, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. That's a good one.
See, look at this.
Shaq Fu. I can believe that. I can believe that.
Shaq in the Fu.
Shaq Fu. I can believe that. All right. We're nerding out too much. Cam, final thoughts.
No, doing well. Really nothing too much. Just looking forward to a really good game of Final Four this weekend. Should be good. Should be solid. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Fortnite tomorrow.
I'm looking forward. Oh, you shouldn't play Fortnite. I'm looking forward to Saturday night. The Royal Rumble is on Peacock. Any of you Peacock subscribers?
I will be watching it so I can understand what y'all are talking about.
Robert, you're welcome to come over, bro. Just come over.
All right. Well, I'm going to be in Denver that day, so I don't even know what time I'm going to be getting home. But I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. I mean, if you're home before 6, come over.
Okay.
I love the Royal Rumble. WWE, it's chaos. It's awesome. I love it. That's my plug.
I mean, I've been blessed that Comcast gave me with its rewards 2 years of Peacock for free. So nice. I will be blessed in watching WWE and catching up on WWE. My love for WWE. So
WWE on Netflix in 2025, Monday Night Raw.
Yep, should be good.
Hey, the Lakers are down right now.
That's
good. Fuck the Lakers.
I was just letting you know.
LeBron's not playing, so they should be losing.
About LeBron, but I'm not a big LeBron fan. I'll just be honest. I'm not a huge NBA person. I just know I'm not a LeBron person.
I'm not a LeBron person either. All right. We're out.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard for the car, so that's why it's all